Welcome back, guys, to the This and Much More podcast. I'm Evelyn, and my co-host is
Rollie Vogues.
And today, our special guest is
Herb from Throde.
Herb.
Yes, sir. We got Herb back on the podcast. First time we had you on was at Post. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was pretty dope. It was like a quick 5-10 minute interview, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how you been, bro? How you been?
Been good. Just working a lot since then, since our last meetup. Just staying busy. Yep.
That's dope. So let's just jump right into it. Tell us a bit about where you grew up. You're from Houston.
Yes.
Right. So what areas did you grow up in, or what?
I grew up on the east side my whole life. I went to Galena Park High School and all that area around there. I just grew up around there.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
21.
What?
Yeah.
I was I had asked him before, and I was she's probably gonna ask you on the podcast, but I told him I think he's the second youngest, right? Because it's oh, he's not up there. Chewy,
yeah.
And then he's 21.
Yeah, Chewy's not 21 yet.
No, he's 20, but
yeah.
He's 21.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God, you're such a baby.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Honestly, whenever I saw you at Post, I literally thought you were probably older.
For real?
Well, you just give off very mature vibes. That's why.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, honestly.
The other guy, Chewy, he's the same way. He's not that you look older, but the what is it? The vibe you give is very chill, laid back, mature. You know, you're not over there fucking around doing something stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah, he has a good head on his shoulders type shit. Yeah.
No, yeah. I feel I started really young, doing everything.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful. I'm thankful that I started young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just because it's a lot of room to learn. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like to do. Keep learning.
At what age did you start doing
I started
everything?
When I was a senior in high school. So I was 19.
You were 19 and that's when you started the brand?
No, I started screen printing and designing at 19. Well, yeah, I did. Yeah, later on, late 19.
Yeah, you started the brand.
Yeah, late
so why the
19,
name?
20.
Why Throde?
Throde. I had a bunch of names for it at first, but Throde stuck out to me because it was a Houston thing. Once you hear it, if you're from Houston, you know.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to incorporate something different into the name. When you think about it, you already have a set picture in your mind of what you think it is. But I want to incorporate stuff that I like personally. The Houston culture is cool and everything, yeah. But I feel I wanted to bring more to the table. Oh, there's more to Houston than just this. And I feel in you have LA and New York, and they all have their own thing. And when you see something and you're from a distance, oh, that's from LA, or that's from New York. Mm-hmm. But I want to also bring something Houston is just more than just, the culture that you know. Mm-hmm. There's more. I feel there's more creativeness and more different stuff that I could bring to the table. And I think that I feel that's. I wanted the name to tie everything together. I don't know how to explain it.
You're doing a good job at explaining it.
Yeah, because I feel a lot of brands that do blow up within their city is they're very city inspired or whatever, So if in Houston you would see a lot of kind of Slumped, how they have it's super heavy Houston culture, But I mean, I'm sure it can grow outside of the city, but the majority of the customers and stuff are gonna be within,
And that's hard. Seeing stuff like that is really cool. You're putting on for the city and you're continuing that and not letting it die off. But there's also more to Houston than there's, I don't know how to explain it.
It's more than just the city line and stuff like that, right? Whenever there's a clothing brand that is based out of Houston and it's strictly Houston things, you see a lot of the same similar designs, When I know what you're saying, I feel you're saying but there's more to that, right? Houston is just more than just the 10, 20 designs that a lot of people use in different ways, right?
Yeah, so if you're talking about Throde and stuff, are you thinking more of a definition throat or just like
I feel like I would want to give it like a new, like not like a definition almost, like for, how do I say it, like I want people to, whenever you wear something and it has like the word throat on it, right? Because I've had a lot of people tell me that, like, oh, like, they didn't let me wear it at school, or like they didn't let me wear it at work because it's inappropriate. Like, the word is inappropriate.
Really?
Yeah, and it's like, I don't understand how. But I was like, okay. But if you see, like, I want to give it a new, like, give it a new context. Like, it's not bad. It's not a bad word. Like, in my world, like, in my mind, like, it's like the coolest word. Like, in my mind, like,
yeah.
Whenever I hear throat, like, I like picture all the stuff that I made, like all the shirts that I've dropped, and like Houston and everything. But I don't want to just limit my stuff to just Houston. Like, I want somebody in New York or Canada to wear my stuff, and like,
yeah,
they don't even know what it means down here, but to them, it has their own meaning. You know, just because if the shirt or like anything that I made makes you feel a type of way, it's like, it doesn't matter what, you know what I mean?
No, yeah. That's true. Like the shirt you're wearing right now, that's, I don't connect, like I haven't even fully seen a design, but to me it looks like a soccer shirt. Yeah. You know? And I feel like I don't see it like a Houston. Like, I would not think like, oh, it's a Houston shirt. You know?
Yeah.
Like that. But that's hard though, because my brother was talking about it. He's like, man, I seen that little soccer shirt he has coming on. I was like, damn.
No, so on the jersey, I try to incorporate like my past drops, like the ice cream is right here, and then like the cherries are right here. Down here I have the UFO, and then I have the mushroom. But like, I just incorporated like a bunch of like my past designs onto like the jersey.
Honestly, it's really nice. Yeah,
I didn't even see all that stuff. I thought it was, you know how they're regularly just like a
like random designs on it,
or a pattern that's kind of like uniform.
Yeah.
And that one has like a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah, because I seen the name, you know, and then I'm like, oh, it's pretty dope. And then I saw like the little
logo.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, that's nice.
This is like my first like cut and sewn garment that I try to do, because I want to like step into that.
Yeah.
Like,
was it hard?
Yeah, it was, because like the sizing is really everything. Like how you want the jersey to fit. Because like they have like the slim fit jerseys, and I didn't want my jersey to be like hella tight.
Like when you're like a soccer player and they're wearing,
yeah. I wanted it to be like a little bit boxy, so I have to make sure I send like the right measurements and like the samples. You got to make sure everything's like okay. Like all these little like dots and stuff, I had to like design those to like make sure it was on the jersey. But yeah, I want to like not step away from like making like t-shirts and like hoodies and stuff like that, but I want to be able to include more like to my audience, like not just t-shirts and stuff like that, like jerseys, what else, like socks.
You've done socks?
I'm barely doing them, but I'm barely stepping into that like overseas manufacturing and stuff.
And I feel like you're still super early, bro. Like, and I feel like in age and then like brand wise, you know what I mean? But before we continue with the brand, like I kind of want to talk about like you know, your high school or whatever, like how you got into design in the first place. Like how did that happen or what?
Well, I've always liked drawing and stuff. I've always like doodled everywhere. Like all the jobs I've had, like that's the main problem that they have with me, like doodling, writing on everything. But I've been like that since like elementary. I've always liked to draw. I suck at it, but I enjoy like drawing my little characters. And it was really like junior year. I had gone to the mall or something. It was like back to school shopping. Yeah. And I was like, bro, none of this stuff at the mall is cool. Like, I don't want to wear none of this. So like in my head, I'm like, oh, like this would look cool on a shirt. Like, what if I did like my own version of this shirt? Like, that would be cool. And like that's how it started. Like when I was a senior.
Did you have free dress?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, that's what makes it complicated, right?
Yeah, because like everybody was wearing the same thing, and that's the thing about me. Like I hate wearing like the same thing as everybody else. Yeah. And that's what like started it really. Like I didn't want to like wear everything like the same thing as everybody else. So when I was a senior, they had announced the senior shirts, and it was like a Whataburger one. Like I was like, dude, I'm not wearing that. So that same day, like I just went in my car. I had like I always keep like a little notepad on me, and I just sketched out like something quick. It was the senior, like I did like the Travis Scott font because like Travis had just dropped Astroworld and it was a big hype around that. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, let me just do like I feel like this would look cool as a shirt, and so I did it, and I just had that design there, and then I met a homie who knew how to screen print, or like he had like the setup, the speedball setup, you know, the basic setup at the art supply, and he was like, oh, let's do it. So we did it just for fun, right? We did like 5, and we just give it to the homies. And then I was like, a lot of people started asking like, oh, no, sell them. You need to make more, sell them. I'm like, they're okay. Like the design, the design I had done, like, everything was by hand. Like I drew it, and I just like imported it to Photoshop and everything. I learned Photoshop my senior year too. I need like 1 more credit to graduate. And they were like, all right, you either do this or like this is a new graphic design class. And I forgot what the other option was. I'm like, I'm gonna just do the graphic design. And I went in there and like it was intro to graphic design. So it was nothing but freshmen. And I was a senior. I'm like, bro, nah, I'm getting out of here. So I don't know, I forgot to get out. Like I forgot to go to the counselor or whatever. So I stayed in that class. I'm like, might as well pay attention. So I started paying attention, and she started explaining how to do like websites and like all of that, and how there was money behind like having a good like social media platform, and like you could do commercials. Like it was a bunch of that. And I'm like, oh, like I could do like my own clothes and like put a website. And the teacher was like, she backed me up like 100%. She was like, you don't even have to do the schoolwork, just do whatever you want. Like because I told her I wanted to do like a brand and like the senior shirts, and she helped me out a lot.
Shout out to that teacher, man.
Yeah, Miss Dixon. Right. Shout out to Miss Dixon. She helped me out a lot. Like, she gave me a lot of freedom. And I ended up doing the senior shirt. That did good. And then I was like, okay, like, I can't just stay doing senior shirts. Like, what is it? Like, I like doing shirts. Like, it's cool seeing, like, people wear your stuff. But it's like, I can't do senior shirts forever. So I was like, I need to come up with a brand, like, something I can keep going.
But it was good money, right?
Yeah, it was easy. Like, I was selling them for $25. And I was going to other schools after school, like passing them out, like just spreading the word. I didn't have a website, nothing, just like in hand. Drink some water, my gosh.
No, you're fine.
Nah, that's pretty crazy, honestly, because the way he's explaining, like the way you're explaining the stuff, and when I was in high school, there was no graphic design class. There was none of this shit, you know. But I was learning that shit on my own, pretty much. And
and it's hard too to learn. Like, I feel like if I wouldn't have been in that class, I would have never learned. Like, I've tried to learn, like, other, the Adobe apps, all the other ones, but they're complicated. And it's like, bro, how did I learn how to use Photoshop? and
so that's the only thing you use right now?
Photoshop, and I also, like, use, I forgot, Procreate. Is it Procreate?
Yeah, on the iPad?
Yeah. Procreate, Illustrator. What else? That's it, really. And then
that's what you used to, right?
Yeah. And then there's another one, but man, that bitch is complicated.
Dude, Illustrator is complicated for me, like, right now.
Illustrator, I just use, like, it's pretty cool, because I don't think I've had a graphic designer on here. But, I mean, I do a bunch of design shit. And, but, yeah, so I feel like I only use Illustrator. I use Photoshop for a bunch of the stuff that, like, I post on social media or whatever. And then Illustrator is more like once they want to get stuff ready for print or logos and all that, just for the cleaner lines. That's when I transfer it over to that. But
because Illustrator is different, because Photoshop is pixels and Illustrator is vectors. Yeah.
So yeah, Illustrator is harder.
I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
She had been trying to learn though.
Yeah, I asked him to teach me, but guess what? He's not a good teacher. Like,
I suck at teaching too.
Yeah, like,
but like, just watch what I do.
He's like, and I'm just like writing in my notepad. And I'm just like, okay, let me try it. He's like, no, just watch. And in my head, I'm like, well, how am I gonna learn if you never let me try it? Like,
I feel like it's all in trying, like starting somewhere, and like you'll eventually like pick it up. Like if you just do it consistently, even if it's like not good at first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all about practicing at the end of the day, you know, and I feel like practice makes what is it? Makes perfect.
Yeah, practice makes perfect.
No, that's how it was, like with the logo, like the original logo I did. Like I was stuck on that for like maybe the half of the school year, like a whole semester, like on that logo, because I wanted to do the smiley with the grill, and like I would go onto Johnny Dang's website and look at all the girls, and I would pick up like the hardest grill he had. But all his girls were straight. Like, and I wanted it like
a U kind of like a smile.
So I had to like get each tooth from his grill and like make sure it's like measured up to a smiley. It took me a while, and like the teacher was like, just leave it alone for today. Like, nah, like I want to finish it today, but nah, it took me a while, but I got it done. But yeah, like I didn't do good at first.
What about eventually. Like your parents? Did they see that? Did they know you were selling shirts?
Yeah, they seen me like doing the senior shirts, but they seen it was just for fun. Like I wasn't taking it serious. I'm like, oh, like look, I'm selling all these shirts.
Yeah.
But then after that, COVID hit, so we're just home all the time.
Yeah.
And I gotten a sample made, and it just said like throw it in the front, smiley in the back, and it was a DTG shirt, like low quality. It was bad, but I was like, oh look, like I made my first shirt. And they're like, they didn't really care at first, like until like I started picking it up and like showing like I'm about it for real. Like they started seeing like, oh, okay, like now we see.
Your parents, where are they from?
Both of my parents are from El Salvador.
Oh, you're Salvadorian? Me too. Yes. Oh, I think you're our first Salvadorian guest. Oh no, he's half, right? It's
Who?
Edgar.
Oh yeah, he's
half. But you're my first full 100% Salvadorian.
No, yeah.
No, it's one of my top 5s.
Salvadorian.
Top 5 episodes.
No, yeah, and like my parents don't know like English at all. So
really?
I grew up like just Spanish, straight Spanish.
Do you speak Spanish?
Yeah.
He does. I had asked him earlier. Do you have like the heavy accent or no in Spanish? Or
just when I talk to other people with the heavy accent. Like when I talk to my mom, sometimes like it'll come out just because like I listen to her talk all the time. But like whenever I'm talking like professionally, I can speak like professional
Spanish.
Yeah. Not professional Spanish.
No, yeah, I know
without
what you mean.
the accent.
Yeah.
No, you know what? It's funny because I feel like...
Don't say nothing dumb because we're going to gang up on you. Think about what you're going to say.
Oh, like how I tell you?
Huh?
How I tell you?
What?
Like, think about what you're going to say.
You tell me that?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've told you on the podcast before.
Oh.
But no, it's because Salvadorians, like, the ones that I know, you know, don't really have like style the way that you have style. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh my God. Yes. Let's talk about that. Okay. So when you think of a Salvadorian guy, obviously guys, it doesn't apply to every Salvadorian. So don't get offended if you're Salvadorian when watching this, right? What do you think it's the style when you see a Salvadorian guy? Because to me, right? So you can think about it, right? But to me, I feel like I have in my family, it's like literally we're all Salvadorian, and then it's probably like the people that married into the family are the ones that are like the head of my family, like the head ones, the top ones are all Salvadorian basically, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're Salvadorian family.
No, I know, but I'm saying like my tia married a Salvadorian, which is my tia Sonia Salvadorian. My mom, she's single, and my other tia, she married a black guy. But other than that, I'm looking at the Salvadorians in my family, and they dress like, if for example, let's go to a quinceañera, and it's so corny, like like the little tucked in shirt with the slacks and the
shiny black shoes.
Yes, I know it's might be somebody's style and they like it, but to me personally, it is corny, you know, to an extent, right? To an extent.
Yeah,
that's how I grew up. Like,
I grew up like that too. Like, like me, right?
Yeah.
Like,
but I mean that I feel like that's already kind of like different. Where that's more like on the grown up side. But I'm talking about like younger generation.
Oh, so, you want to clown on my cousins or what?
Hey, you just dropped. I never even was talking about your cousins. I'm just talking about like
younger generation. Yes, I feel. I guess maybe because I don't know too many Salvadorians, you know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess let's go based off my cousins. They're Salvadorians, but now they dress with the, what are those pants?
Like True Religion?
True Religion, the boots, and...
I feel like it all depends, like, in the area you grew up and, like, people you grew up around.
Yeah, that's true.
That inspires, like, a lot of how you dress. Because I grew up, like, with the kids I grew up with, like, they were all dressing, like, in Supreme and all that. But it also depends, like, if you go to another school where it's mostly, like, just Mexicans or mostly, like, black people, you're going to dress like them because that's what's cool in that school. And I feel like that's how it was.
Yes, that's what
I went to school
too.
with, like, a bunch of, like, hypebeasts and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
So that, like, inspired.
That.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the way you dress and stuff. Like I like the way you dress, like on your IG and stuff.
Thank you.
And but I do feel like that kind of came out of like a hype beast type of background. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, I started like being like into all that like at a really young age, and because it was like almost forced on me. It's almost like if you didn't have it, like you got made fun of.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't dress a certain type of way, you got like clowned at.
Yeah.
So like I forced myself to get into certain stuff at first, like when I was younger. Because when I was like really young, I had barely like learned to speak English in 5th grade.
Oh my God, me too.
So I was like ESL the whole way.
Damn, that's crazy.
So like most of the ESL kids were not dressing like into like, they didn't even wear like Vans or Converse, like just, you know.
There was
like,
shoes from Payless,
yeah,
probably.
whatever.
Yeah.
I was wearing the same stuff, like Echo, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they moved me into like the English classes, and the English kids dressed different. Like they had like Vans on, Converse, ripped jeans and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, like these kids look cool. Like I need to start dressing like that. And like I made friends like with the English kids, and they're Hispanic too, but they
No, yeah,
English.
I know what you mean, yeah.
But they were in the English classes, and they would tell me like, oh, you gotta go buy yourself like a pair of Converse, go get you some cargo shorts, you're good, you're straight. And that's how I started, like with cargo shorts and like Converse.
Yeah.
And then from there, like I didn't have like the internet like the other kids had it. I feel like, cause I feel like the internet inspired their outfits.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how they got their outfits, but
Yeah.
I didn't have it. I didn't have the internet.
Or maybe to the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Like MTV was big back then too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm saying back then for us, but he's way younger.
So I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like once I got like the internet, like Instagram and all that, I started seeing like looking up to how like artists
would dress.
Yeah. Like I would like follow like Drake, A$AP Rocky, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And like at the time, a lot of shit was popping in New York. So like I would focus like a lot on Supreme and Diamond and the 100, stuff like that. Like I was just focused on like what was popping on the internet. I couldn't afford none of that stuff. So I was just like a fan of it.
Yeah.
But I feel like that inspired a lot of like how I dressed.
Before we go on a break though, I want to ask because so did you own like Supreme and all that in high school?
Yeah.
Like
in high school, yeah.
How could you afford that? Like I mean, because I mean me, my parents, they would never like be like, nah, you're not buying no fucking Supreme and all that shit. So how?
Well, especially because they don't know what it is, so they don't think it's a brand worth paying for.
No, yeah.
Shit. I mean, yeah. Even if they knew what it was, they'd be like, I'm not paying that much for a shirt or all this shit, you know.
Like,
so
how like I started. Because I always was a fan of all the brands. I was just a fan because I couldn't afford it. Yeah. So I would like I would go into the library at school and I would just print out like the logos of the brands and I would just put them on my wall. But I couldn't afford none of that stuff. So I think it was 7th grade. I got really into Stussy and I wanted this hoodie that had them on. It was like $80. And like not once did it pass through my mind to ask my parents for it because I already knew what the answer was. Yeah. So I started working. I started working in construction until I could afford it. So that was the first thing I bought, the Stussy hoodie. And from there, like, I was just buying, like, my own stuff. Or I was also buying, like, used stuff. Like, used stuff was, like heat for me. Because that's what I could afford at the time. Yeah. And if it was in good condition, I didn't care.
Where did you buy it from?
Like, kids at school.
Oh,
like,
I see.
I remember the first, like, pair of Jordans I had were some Concord 11s. And I bought them off of this kid's feet. And, like, they were unglued and shit. But to me, they were so clean. And that's what I wore, like, the first day of school in 9th grade. It was, like, I paid, like, $120 for them. Yeah. But, like, that's what I could afford at the time. Like, brand new, a pair goes for, like, $500. I did not have that. So, used stuff was, like...
So, you had the mentality, like, if you wanted it, if you wanted something, you were going to work for it.
No, yeah. Like...
I really think we're probably related. 100% Salvadorian. We have the same mentality. I mean, basically.
That's just you though.
Yeah, that's just me.
Yeah.
No, yeah, if I want something and I have it in my head, I want it. Like I'm gonna work for it. Like that's how I was like since I was.
What's your last name?
Ventura. Yeah.
I knew a DJ Ventura when I was on MySpace.
I think I have a tia. Her last name is Ventura. And I'm just kidding.
Dude, I know a lot of people with that last name. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah. And they're all Salvadorian too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What part of El Salvador?
My mom's from San Julian, And I don't know where my dad's from.
Yeah. No, we're from La Union.
Okay. Oh, my stepdad's from La Union.
Oh, really?
Yeah. By the beach?
Yeah. It's right by the beach. But let's go on a quick break and we'll be back, guys.
Yes, sir.
And we are back. I also forgot to mention that Alani needs to already sponsor me because I drink them all the time.
Yeah, they're fucking good.
They are good. You don't even drink them though.
Well, we're on the podcast. I drink them. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let them know. Let them know. Let's talk about like design inspiration, right? So, when it comes to your brand, actually, before we get into design inspiration, let's talk about designer inspiration. So. Earlier, we were off camera. We were talking about like that you try to like look for designers and stuff like that. But is there any designers that you look up to or that you find for inspiration?
I feel like I really look at the brands I really liked growing up, like Stussy and like Diamond and the Hundreds and stuff like that. I really, I feel like they inspired me the most. But like for my recent designs, like a lot of vintage shirts too, because like you might see like a crazy ass vintage piece and you might not ever see that design ever again. And I feel like that's what really like inspires me, like old vintage tees, vintage designs. That's like the hardest to me, because like going back to what I said, like I don't like wearing the same stuff as everybody else. That's what vintage, like you might find like a crazy piece, no one else has it, like you're gonna be the only one rocking it. But that's for designs. You as designers, my bad.
Well, it kind of goes. It kind of plays a big part into it because I mean, you could, like you said it when you were in the mall, that you saw a shirt, but you're like, everybody has it. But if you did it this way, I feel like maybe you don't have somebody specifically, but you just get ideas.
Yeah, like how you say like Stussy and the Hundreds and all that. Did you ever like look into like who designed the stuff and all that?
Yeah, like Bobby Hundreds and like,
Bobby.
Like his shit is dope. Like I'm reading his book right now, and like his whole story is like hard. Like how he came up. Like he's like from nothing. He's like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just clicking. I clicked the right buttons and it worked. But like I feel like Virgil too. Like his stuff was dope. Like coming into like the fashion world and like bringing like his own like street culture, like streetwear stuff into it. And like that's the first time you see something like that. He broke like down boundaries to what it is, to what streetwear, and like how streetwear is now playing like a part in like fashion. Cause like whenever I think of fashion, it's like all like snobby and like you gotta be rich. You have to like have a certain status to be able to wear something. But I feel like Virgil made it to where he incorporated a little bit of like streetwear into it, like where he brings in like the hoodies and stuff, and like it's like a little bit less snobbish.
Yeah.
Like it's less, like I don't know how to explain it, but he made it like in a way more comfortable.
Or he opened like doors, you know, for like opportunities and stuff like that, creativity.
I feel like I want to be able to do something like that one day, like you know, break down doors and shit for like kids like me that just want to be able to do stuff and aren't able to do certain things because of, you know, like where they're from or stuff like that. Because being from Houston, you don't have like a lot of opportunities to do stuff like that, in my opinion. I think like it's just like we don't have nobody to look up to, like that's, you know what I mean, coming out of Houston. Like
I feel like if there is somebody,
like it's mostly just streetwear.
It is streetwear.
And it's like
streetwear.
I feel like the biggest brand in Houston right now is like Slumped and stuff like that. And like besides that, like that's it. Like we had to build they had to build their stuff from nothing, you know, like build their stuff way up. And I feel like that's how it is for everybody. But I feel like once we have like a good amount of people up there with like experience and knowledge on like what it is to do like streetwear and like have a brand and stuff like that, you'll be able to open up doors for kids everywhere, like in Houston. Because I feel like when I first started, there wasn't a lot of brands. When I was still like a senior in high school, there wasn't a lot of brands here in Houston. It was just like Slumped. Who else? I don't remember who else like I seen when I was starting out. But it wasn't a lot. That's all I remember. So it was like, and like TikTok wasn't as like informative as it is now. Like now you go on the TikTok, it's like, oh, how to start a brand, how to like do
yes,
this. Yeah. And it's like back then it wasn't like that. You had to figure it out, like what type of t-shirts to use, what type of printing makes a design last longer, or like what type of printing makes a design look a certain way. And like learning all of that, it was like step by step. I had to do like step by step. I wasn't able to like to jump forward to like, oh, here's all the information I want. You know what I mean? I had to like learn by myself. And I feel like if there was like if we had the like a, how do I explain it? Like I feel like it's easier for people in LA to like start up a brand and like get it popping quicker than down here, because
all the resources are over there.
Yeah, and like down here it's like we got like Harwin and stuff like that. but like we don't got nothing. And I feel like once, like I want to be able to be one day in that position where I'm able to help like people, you know, like, oh, this is how I did it,
or guide them.
Yeah. Cause at one point I needed help too. Like I said off of the podcast, like when I first started, I was printing with this guy from Dallas, and he was doing DTG, and I didn't know I could go with screen printing for my logo. Like in my head, I thought screen printing was just one color, because that's what I was doing with the senior shirts. And like the logo I had like so many colors, like on the grill and stuff, and the grill was like realistic. So in my head, I'm like, I can't do this screen printed. So I was like, I need to have DTG. Excuse me. And I didn't know nobody here in Houston. I had to go to somebody in Dallas, and it was just like texting and like trusting him with my money and hoping he would do it. He didn't even have like enough pictures on his Instagram. He just had like one post, and it was like a t-shirt he had made, and he had like 100 followers. And I trusted him. I was like, fuck it, bro. Like, I'm gonna give you all I got, but I want to start this. Like, I feel like if I don't do this now, like I won't start it. And at first, like, he was, like, replying quick. And then, like, by the second time that I had sent him money, like, he was taking longer to respond. And he just didn't respond for, like, months. And I was like, bro, what am I going to do? I didn't have no, like, I gave him all my money. And I didn't know there was people that had DTG here in Houston. So I was stuck on that for a minute. Like, that guy, he shipped my stuff late. I wasn't even able to use it anymore. So
what did you do with that?
I didn't make a lot of shirts. It was just samples.
Oh, I see. But
like I couldn't. I had ordered samples to do to have a photo shoot, to do pre-orders. But like at that point, I couldn't do anything. And I think it was like around Halloween, so I just trashed it. Yeah. And after that, like I had all these designs that I didn't know how to get printed, because the guy in Dallas was like hoeing me. I'm like, dude, I'm not going back to him. So now I'm like stuck here, and I just felt stuck. Like I looked everywhere, couldn't find anything. And I texted Caesar from Slumped. I was like, hey, bro, like, sorry to bother you. Like, I'm starting up, and I don't have nowhere to get DTG done and stuff. And super nice guy. He told me, like, he let me know, like, all the info and stuff. And I feel like if it wasn't because of that, I wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't know where to get shit made. Or it took longer for me to get where I'm at now. And turns out the guy that did DTG stayed, like, 5 minutes away from my house. And his dad used to work with my dad, so we knew each other. It was like,
my
small
God.
world. Yeah. Like, we were connected this whole time.
Yeah.
But from there, like, I just learned growing like that. Like, slowly. But like I said earlier, like, if it wasn't because of that, I would probably be stuck, or like I would have just gave it up.
Yeah. But I feel like you also have to be like a go-getter, you know, because if you saying like, oh, I was stuck, but still the fact that you reached out to somebody, you know, because there's other people that just want the information, like
just hand it to them.
No, they don't want to put the work in. Like right now, TikTok literally is doing that. Like
I feel like that's what makes people kind of lazy in a way. Like that's what's gonna separate a lot of people from, because there's a lot of brands now. Like compared to when I first started, like now it's like a trend to have your own brand and stuff. And like, I'm not against it. Like, it's cool to make your own stuff. Like,
but I mean, you know who is gonna stick to it. Like, you know who's gonna put the work, and it's just you can see
some of the stuff is gonna come to a stop. You know.
Yeah, because it's easy now to do it. Like, literally, you could go on an app, download an app, submit your design, or even tell them to design it for you, and they'll send you a shirt like 2 to 3 days.
And
like,
printful.
Yeah, like just
stuff like that. Yeah.
And like I feel like it's so easy, you know, like compared to when I first started. I feel like bro, I was having like meltdowns thinking about like how am I gonna get stuff made. But yeah, like you said, like you gotta want it. You gotta go and get it. Cause I could have easily just asked him for the information, just not done nothing with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just gotta want it.
So as far as like design inspiration, you know how you were talking about like vintage shirts and just like having like that one design that others don't have, you know.
Yeah.
But what's that one brand? Riding Dirty, from came out of Premium Goods. You know what I'm talking about? That was a brand when I was in high school. I don't know. I think they still do some stuff or whatever. But they have like the regular Houston with the period at the end. You seen that?
Yeah.
Okay, so they used to come out with a bunch of designs and stuff, but it was always like parodies of Sprite, or they had Dirty Sippers or something like that, but it was Sprite. What do you think of designs like that, where they try to knock off like original designs?
I feel like it's cool. Like whenever I look for vintage shirts, like the main thing, because I feel like with vintage, I've grown to like with phases with it. Like there's different pieces of vintage. Like there's like the how do you explain, like the Harley Davidson and stuff like that. That's what I started with, and now I'm like into like parody tees, like weed parody tees. Like they're funny to me, but I feel like there's nothing wrong with it. Like doing parody tees, like that's cool to me. Like it goes back to me adding like my own style to like the senior shirt I did. Like I just that font already existed, that shirt already existed, but I just added my own flip to it, and I feel like it's cool in a way, but also like don't overdo it, like don't overuse it as either.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah, because I feel like whenever I would see that, I guess I wouldn't like it because I was looking at it as like from a design aspect. So I'm like, you're just being lazy, you know. Like in my head, I'm just like, man, that's a lazy brand or whatever. I copped a few items back in the day type shit, but I never copped like the ones that were knocking off of other you know, logos or whatever. But thinking about the way you said it right now, like customer, like, or
yeah,
you know, somebody who's gonna cop the shirt, I think it would be cool for them to rock some shit like that, you know.
Yeah, it all depends on your audience too. Like you can't, I don't know how to explain it. Like if you have your audience, you know what your audience like, and like if you're like what you said, the Houston thing, I feel like it's like repetitive a lot. Like they use the same thing, but they use like they add like little small stuff to it. I feel like they already have the audience for that. Yeah. If they were to do something different, I feel like their audience would be like, oh, like I was looking for another Houston tee, you know?
Yeah, because now it's a staple. I feel like it's just like for Valentine's, they'll replace a period with a little heart and just shit like that, you know?
Yeah,
so.
like that's cool. I want to be able to reach that level one day where it's just like I could just put whatever on a tee. Yeah. And like just because it's your logo, like you don't know, like.
Yeah, you have to build the brand for it to get to that point. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
because whenever I started mine, I was like, I put Superior Style on like the shirt, and then I think that was it, right? The first shirt, it's the little script, and then I'm like, man, nobody knows what that is, you know. So like, you got to win them over with some design.
Yeah, like something they're familiar with.
Yeah, well. And I never did that. I was always kind of like.
And you didn't want to do the Houston either.
I still don't. I still haven't, like, my brand hasn't popped off because for one, I'm busy like designing a bunch of other people's shit, but then I also haven't incorporated Houston into it, and then I've always been scared of using like big designs. Like I've always been like, all right, I'm not gonna create a crazy design and only sell like 10 tees, you know, like
because you think it's a waste of a design.
Yeah, and I'm just like, fuck, I should have saved that for later when the brand's bigger. But I mean, you just gotta do shit like that, and you always gotta one up yourself every time, you know.
That's how I like to run like my brand. Like I want like each design to overpass my previous design. But like most of the stuff that I've like dropped, I connect to in a way. Like it's not just random shit. Like if I pull up a past drop, like I could tell you like a story behind it, or like what it means to me, or like why I did that, or in a certain way. Like I said in the last time we were at Post.
With the fishing one?
Yeah, like the fishing one, like I hate fishing. But like my whole family, like that's their thing, like fishing. Like fishing all the time. And And I hate it. Like, it's not fun at all. Like, I've never caught a fish or nothing. But, like, since they're from El Salvador, like, that's what they like.
That's what I was thinking just now.
Yeah. No,
'Cause
yeah.
it's just
Because I
water
used to
over
go
there.
Yeah.
I used to go shipping. I used to go fishing a lot. We used to put the chicken
Yeah.
in the little thing and just throw it and wait for like the crabs to like come bite it and then just scoop it
That's
up.
fun. I like catching
Yeah.
crabs.
Yeah, I like catching crabs too. Well,
But
I haven't
fishing
gone in
is
that long.
something else. But yeah, I made that shirt for like my family and stuff. 'Cause
Yeah.
my family like really likes fishing, and I wanted to incorporate my brand and them like
Yeah.
together.
So,
And
go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, so each design has like a meaning to you, but you've had a lot, right?
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Have you sold out a lot?
Yeah.
You have. Do you do pre-orders or is it just on hand?
I recently started doing pre-orders because like stuff was selling out quick and like a lot of people wanted it, and I'm like, I don't like when brands sell out all the time. Not able to get nothing, so I'm like, might as well just do pre-orders.
And what's your pre-order time frame?
I just do like 3 days.
What?
3 days.
No,
Like, leave it open?
like leave it open for 3 days, but like once the
Like
ad
production
closes,
time.
the production time. Sorry, yeah.
1 to 2 weeks.
1 to 2 weeks.
1 to 3 weeks. 1 to 3 weeks.
Oh, okay,
It
but
depends.
you already have that. You already have the person that's gonna make the shirt.
Yeah. Like, I give them the design, like, ahead of time. Like, hey, like, this is the design. I'm doing pre-orders. I don't know how much I'm going to sell. It might do good. It might do bad. But that's it. Like, just have it ready. But it just depends how I'm doing it. If it's DTG, it might be quicker. But since I started doing screen printing, like, because I want my stuff to last long. Because I started seeing, like, a lot of my stuff in public. And
It looks faded.
it looks faded. And it's like, dang, that shirt. I just dropped that one for Halloween this like past year. Why is it that faded? Like, I have older shirts that aren't that faded.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to focus just on screen printing now, just so it could last longer. And it could be like one day, like a shirt you might find at a thrift or something. It's like, oh, like that's a hard graphic. Like, it's still holding up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it depends. Screen printing does take a little bit longer, but the quality is better.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but DTG is like quicker, but it doesn't last as long. So
Yeah.
I started incorporating. Like, I feel like I'm like as I go, I'm learning as I go, really, because like that's what I started with DTG, and I just been doing that full like the whole time. But like as I'm growing up and like how I'm seeing like how stuff like handles like time and stuff, you start to learn like you have to make stuff that lasts longer.
Yeah.
Because your stuff, like, I feel like once you put it out, like that's the first step. Like now it has to compete with like all the other stuff that people have in their closet. Like why is that shirt gonna, like why would they want to wear that shirt, the shirt you made, compared to all the other shirts they already have in their wardrobe? Like why is your shirt better than the ones they have in the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like for me, because I have a bunch of shirts, but there's usually like the 5 I really go back to all the time because I like how they fit or the color of it. It's not even because of the graphic anymore. It's just like because of how the shirt fits.
Yeah.
And like I feel like I started focusing. I want to start focusing more on like the fitment of the shirts, or like how the fade looks, or how would like a certain design or color look on the type of T-shirt if it's like aged well or washed a certain way, like stuff like that. I started focusing more on that because to me that's what matters. Like how the shirt.
What's your top blank?
Top blank. I use LA Apparel a lot. Like that's like in my opinion the best one.
Yeah,
but
for us too.
But I think there's some other ones that are really good. Shaka has like these like how do they like they fall at the shoulders.
The drop
like,
shoulder.
Drop shoulder.
Okay.
Those are cool. I like how those look. But it's weirder for those because you gotta also think about your customers. Like your customers are used to like a certain type of shirt, and like a medium on this shirt fits like a XL. So like sizing is different.
It's different. Yeah.
So you got to think about that a lot too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that consumers don't think about. You know, they're probably just buying the shirt either because they know who you are, they know the brand. But I mean, if you switch up the blanks on them like that, they're probably not even gonna think twice. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I remember when I started off, I've used like all blanks, bro. Like I feel like we've used Gildan, we've used Bella Canvas, you know, and then LA came out. No, and then Comfort Colors was like a good one.
Oh yeah, I was using Comfort Colors a lot too.
Yeah, I like Comfort Colors. That's pretty dope.
And All Style.
All Style.
But the thing with Comfort Colors, the neck stretches out too much.
Yes,
does.
and
Like,
then
it
this
does.
the right here.
sleeves.
for the long sleeves.
For the long sleeves. Yeah.
Oh, the cuffs.
Yeah, the cuffs.
Yeah, this stretches out way too much after like a couple washes, and then like it looks all droopy and stuff. I don't like that.
No, yeah.
That's the thing I like for LA apparel. Like it's the neck is thick. Some people don't like that, but it's just like the longevity of the shirt is gonna be longer because like it's not gonna be all loose. You know what I mean?
I feel like for my brand, when I introduced the LA shirts, I feel like I got it was for girls, you know, so I feel a lot of the girls really love those blanks because I feel like they were used to just getting Bella canvas as girls, right? Like, because a lot of girl brands do like the slim fit, and mine's is like more like, I like the crew necks, the boxy tees, you know, stuff like that.
Because when we started using LA, I felt like, oh shit, like this just leveled up the brand, you know, like now we have good ass blanks and shit, but now it's just like all
Everybody
across,
knows,
all across the board, everybody's using LA blanks.
But it's good though, because if you think about it, like you're gonna want to support a brand, but you want to know that the blank is good too. You know,
now I look at, are they using LA? Like
because if they are, then you know that it's worth the money. Like it's $40. All right, well at least I know it's a good blank, not a Gildan shirt. You know.
I just wonder if it's gonna stay a staple like that though. Like I wonder if it's something else is gonna come out where it's like a looser neck or some shit, and I'm just like, fuck,
I feel like it is. I feel like
it's gonna stick around.
I feel like it's gonna stick around, but like new stuff is coming out every day.
Yeah.
And like I eventually want to make my own blanks, like to where I like the fitment of the shirt. Like it's not like too long or like too short. The medium doesn't fit like an XL. Stuff like that. I want to eventually like branch out to stuff like that because I think that's cool. Like having your own blank. Yeah. And like you could even wholesale those at a point. Like if you make your own blank.
Yeah, we have a brother and a sister. They started their own hat blanks, and they wholesale that shit now.
But they do it with like Mercedes. That's their audience, like you know,
higher end like brands and shit or companies or whatever. But yeah, I think that would be pretty dope to come out with your own blank. And then they don't make blanks like fucking vintage shirts, bro. Like the back in the day blanks, like t-shirts and shit. The way they fit. Crazy.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's also the age, like the age of the shirt too, like who's it been worn by, or like if the person like had it in the 90s, they were big or something, they probably stretched it out a little bit more or like made it boxier or something. And I feel like that's why like they have that good fitment. Just because like shit they've been through the shirts. Yeah,
and they're the good condition ones. I don't know. I just feel like they drape over the body, kind of like. It's kind of weird because I'll tell her, I'm like, man, this shirt looks like it'll just like,
you know, because I have like, not that this is like vintage, right? But this crew neck's heavy. Yeah. Like, and it's very long.
That's a reverse weave champion.
Those are nice. Shit.
But I feel like it's very heavy. But
and then like the cuffs are different.
Yeah, like they're long. Yeah, I like this. Like I like that they're long to an extent, right? Because it's gonna make me look weird. But I put it on right now, and I'm just like, dang, it is pretty heavy. Like
it's
for a crew neck, you know. So whenever we ship it out, it'd probably be expensive. Yeah. When we sell it, yeah.
So what's your process like whenever you're planning to come out? Like, are you dropping every month, or are you dropping like?
So like what I usually do, like every month at least, I try like just brainstorm ideas every month. Even though I already have like stuff planned out for the year, like I already know like what I'm gonna drop next month, the month after that. But I would still like to like, come up with more ideas in case like something happens, or like a pop-up pops up, or like, you know what I mean? But I usually just brainstorm like late. I just stay up late, play some Dragon Ball or something, and then just draw or get on my computer. But it's mostly like just sketching. Just like I just sketch a lot. Like most of my drops have been like that, just sketching stuff and like coming up with stuff. I feel like I said, vintage shirts. I might see like a vintage shirt I've never seen before, and like the graphic inspired me right there. Like I'll do it right there. Like it all depends. Like, or I might be watching a movie and I like the colors that like an outfit has. Like, oh damn, I've never seen those two colors together before. Like that would look sick on a tee. Like just seeing stuff like that, I feel like.
And you try to incorporate the smiley into everything?
I try to, or the name. Because when I first started, I used the smiley like on everything, like big on everything. But I want to start using like the name more, like to a point where I could just use the name. But yeah, I try to incorporate like the logo on everything, almost.
Yeah. Do you how'd you come up with that? The smiley.
The smiley.
Did we talk about that? I don't think we talked.
No,
about
he just talked about the grill, how he got each one.
Yeah, I was just looking at Quavo had just posted his grill, bro, and it was so hard. Like I was looking at it and it was so cool. Like I never seen a grill like that. And Johnny Dang had posted the video and he was just showing it off. I'm like, bro, that would look hard like on a sticker or something. And it just came to my head like, oh, let me just put it like in a smiley type of way. Let me see how it would look like on a smiley. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, nah, it's not gonna work. But I'm like, let's see, let's just try it out. And it turned out okay. Yeah, that's how I came up with it.
Yeah, I think it looks cool. And then for the Valentine's shirt that you dropped, is that the first time you do a body on it?
Nah,
or is that like a different character?
No, it's the same character. I use the same character so that same like person with the body is the same smiley, but it's just like with the body. But what was I gonna say? I dropped it for Halloween. I think like a year ago. Yeah, for the Mania Market. And I had put like my friend had drew it up for me like with his little body, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Let me actually like put it on a t-shirt, and I put it on a t-shirt, and from there like it just became like, oh, he has a body now. like it was just like the head.
So funny.
It was just a logo.
Yeah.
But like now it's like he's actually like the mascot. The mascot of the brand. I feel like that's important, like having a mascot for your stuff. Like, it just makes your stuff stand out.
Yeah,
that's true, man. I've been trying to think about like for my brand to get.
I was like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, it sounded like yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's outside.
I think it was probably a car.
Yeah, it probably was a car. I've been thinking about the mascot for like my brand, but I just can't think of something.
I feel like that's what sets apart a lot of brands. Like if they have like their unique mascot to where like it stands out, and you know, like when you see it, like, oh, that's that brand just because of the mascot. It doesn't even have to say the words on it. I feel like that's what like puts you a step ahead of everybody else. Like Bape. Like you just see like the ape face, and like you already know it's them. Like it's hard.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
That's true.
But also like the signatures too, like just the typography does well too. Like Supreme and all of them is just like their name.
That's true.
So it just depends, really.
Yeah. Well, let's take a quick break and we'll be back.
Yes, sir.
And we are back again. So, what was the next thing that you had?
Oh no. So, piggybacking off of like the process and everything, I wanted to talk about like marketing. So, do you put a lot of thought into the marketing, or are you just posting like mock-ups, or how are you doing all that?
Or like your photo shoots and stuff like that?
No, yeah, I try to put a lot of thought into it, just because that's what the audience is gonna see. Like that's gonna be like, depending on how you present the item, it depends like if you're gonna get a sell or not. If you make the item look good and like the shirt on body looks like, going against like how it looks on body. Like if somebody sees like, oh, that guy's probably my height, my weight, and it looks like that on him, it's probably gonna look like that on me. Compared to just like a picture of a shirt, like the mock-up. Like, yeah, it works sometimes. Like if you want to do like how do you say it? Like a random drop. Like if you want to do like a shock drop, like it works out for that. But if you want to do like, if you have multiple items, or you have like a good, in my opinion, because I have items that I separate to throughout the months. Like April's my birthday, right? So I try to have like one of the hardest drops in April. And so I put thought into that, and like I'll make sure it looks good, and you know, promote it well. But there's also like shock drops, like on those, like it's just depending on Instagram and the algorithm, if they'll push my stuff out, like hopefully it does good. But it just depends like on what you like really put thought into. Because like on photo shoots, like going back to like the fitment of the shirt, a lot of people will ask you like, oh, like, does this run big, does this run small, what size are you wearing, blah. They won't be able to have that conversation if it's just like the mock-up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because no one's wearing it.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go based off their own size and risk it or something.
Yeah, because you might be like, the shirt might look a certain way on the image, and you might use like a different blank, and it's not gonna look like that.
Yeah, and people use that. I mean, people do that sometimes.
Yeah, because for me, when I post like on my website, like I'll put like model size, and then I'll just put whatever size either I'm wearing or the other girl's wearing or something like that. Just so they can use that as a reference, you know.
No, yeah, and also try to incorporate like what I would want to see. Like I take it like put yourself in their shoes. Like why would you buy the item? Like why would I buy an item from Stussy or anywhere else? Like I'm not just gonna buy it if it's just like if they make it look like whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
like
true.
if they put no effort into it, like it probably sucks. In my opinion, I don't know. But if you put effort into it and you make it look cool and like people see it and you present it well, I feel like it stands like it makes a difference to just that.
Yeah, yeah. Because I feel like for marketing, I try to do a lot of like graphics. I'll take my own mock. Like I won't use the regular mock-up, you know. Like I'll just take a picture of the actual sample, and then create like some graphics around it or some shit like that looks nice. But I do grab a lot of inspiration from like different like Bodega, who else? Joshua Vides, you know, all them. But
yeah, like they have like some good pictures of their stuff.
Yeah, bro.
And it's just because of like how it looks like in a certain background or something makes the t-shirt pop out like way more.
Yeah,
makes it look way cooler than it is.
Yeah, honestly, man. And I'm just thinking about you know who Joshua Vides is?
No.
He's
a designer from LA, and he started doing the marker. The Sharpie on the Air Force. Did you ever see that? Where it's like it makes it
all
look
white,
like
and then it's just the
it's all white, and then like all the creases and everything they're black, and he made it look like kind of like comic-y.
Oh yeah.
And now he built a whole ass brand from that, right? And he'll like grab this table, he'll like paint it white, and then like he'll draw out black lines,
like trace it over?
Yeah, trace it, and bro, it's just crazy, but
it looks cool.
But he's the designer. I was asking about designers earlier because he's the one that I look up to the most. And this one time he had like I don't know who posted it. I don't know. It was like a streetwear blog or whatever. But they were like, he did a whole marketing shoot on his iPhone. So it was like, he had a brand back in the day called Classic. And he's like, Classics Joshua Vides does a whole marketing thing with just an iPhone. And bro, the way he took the pictures. And that just showed me, I'm like, all right, you don't need a crazy camera. You know, you just need your phone and shit and some creativity.
At the end of the day, you just need creativity, really.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. But, man, I thought that shit was dope. And then going back to him, he, you know how everybody has TikTok and shit? You know, that's everybody's getting the info from there. I was so mad at myself, bro, because he had Snapchat, and then he was like, I'm going to show you guys how to start a brand in 30 days, right? I had already had my brand. But I wanted the ins and outs. And he was going to show you how to get, like, your licenses, you know, do all this shit. And he's like, every day on Snapchat, I'll show you guys, and I'm going to build a brand. And he ended up building it, right? But I missed the 30 days, bro.
Nah.
Yeah, I literally got on, and then he's like, and that's it, guys, for the 30 days. And I'm like, holy shit, what the fuck? And, bro, ever since then, one day I'm going to meet him, bro, and I'm going to ask him for that. Like, all that shit, like, all the gems.
Have you searched it up on YouTube?
Yeah, it's not there.
Dang.
Bro, it was
on Snapchat.
Yeah, because it was Snapchat. It's like it's there and then it's gone.
And it was back then when screen recording wasn't a thing too.
Yeah, well, I don't know was it ever like not allowed, or could
no,
you
I'm
do
saying like a lot of on the iPhone. You know how screen recording became a thing like whenever they got the new phones. Like I don't think it was a thing.
Like I think Virgil has a website too where he has like the whole layout where you could get like the LLC and all that.
Oh, then
I think that's still up. Yeah.
So do you, going off topic, do you have a job or this is all you do?
Yeah, I had a job. I've been having a job for like since I started the brand, but for now, like I'm just doing it. Like I feel like I'm in my crunch time right now. Like if it doesn't work now, like you know I gotta push it till the best I can now.
It's not something that you want to give up on, right?
No, like I feel like even though like I promoted a lot on TikTok and everything, I don't want to like blow up completely just yet because I know I'm nowhere close to where I want to be yet. And like I feel like I still have a lot to learn and like I still have a lot of growing to do. And like I feel like I just wouldn't be ready for that yet. Like I want to like be able to handle that. Like I don't want to just, because usually that's what happens. Like I've seen a lot of brands blow up on TikTok, but they burn out just as quick too, and it's just like because they weren't prepared for it.
That happened to me. Not that I blew up, right? But that's what happened to me last year with my brand. I feel like I was dropping monthly. But a lot of it was like I was doing it, you know. And I feel like it burned me out a lot, right? Like, I feel like barely right now I'm trying to pick up the pace with whatever I'm doing with it.
Yeah, but I feel like once you blow up, if you're prepared for it, then cool, you know. But I mean,
if you're
not saying that you're not prepared, obviously, you know. But you want to make sure you have like all your
like you're ready.
Yeah, like all your shit, like you know what to expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I feel like I'm a really spiritual person, and I always ask God for all of this, right? And like I feel like God doesn't give you things you can't handle. Like I feel like if I've been asking for this for a while, like please, like I want this to work. But like I feel like if he gives me everything I'm asking for now, like what am I gonna do with it? Like am I ready for that? And that's what I really like stop to think about, because everybody wants that. Everybody wants to like their brand to be the most famous brand, most popular brand. Everybody's wearing your stuff, but it takes like step by step. You know, like you gotta build your foundation up first. Make sure like your foundation is straight. Make sure you have like everything like in order, because like going back to like even like your taxes and stuff, like that's a big thing with like a brand.
Crazy. Yeah,
because you might sell like 10,000 like in with your brand, and you got to think about like how much you got to pay in taxes with that if you keep selling that amount. And like I'm barely learning how to do like my taxes for the brand and everything, and it's complicated. And like I feel like if my brand would have popped up like quicker, or like I would have blew up like sooner, not like that I'm popping up yet, but I'm saying like if I would have blew up earlier, I wouldn't be prepared for it at all.
You'd be like, oh shit, like
I probably would be in debt or something. Like
yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm ready, you know, to go to like I'm still learning, still growing, and like I really want it to work, and I wouldn't want it to just die off overnight. So I just gotta keep working.
Dang, that's really good. Like to think of, to look at it, right? Like
because I feel like your mentality is there. Like just you saying that, I feel like shows maturity as far as like having the brand, you know. And because I feel like that's what I was gonna say earlier when we were talking about how there's a lot of brands. I feel like you can tell which ones are gonna stick around and which ones are not, you know. The ones that follow the hype and stuff, like just I don't know what's big right now, but you know what I mean?
Like on TikTok, a lot of thing that's like popping is them hoodies with like puff print on them, like crazy puff print.
Kind of like the, what was it? Whose album was it? The Kanye? No. The ones that started with the puff print?
I think. The Kid Cudi ones.
The Kid Cudi ones, yeah.
Like, but now like on TikTok, it's just like words and like they're like puff print and like that's their whole design. But that's what's like blowing up right now, like, because I feel like TikTok is just little kids.
Yeah,
like it's mostly like your audience is just gonna be little kids, and like I feel like it became a trend, like the big puff print, and like the TikTok brands, like
that's what they're doing.
Yeah, like they
just to hop on.
Yeah, because it's easy money. Like if you just promote it right, and kids see it, like it's just cheaper than the one that their other person is promoting. I'm gonna just buy this one.
Yeah.
But I never want to I don't want to be like that. Yeah, I want to get my name out there and like promote it, but then again, like I don't want to come off like as a TikTok brand.
You know what I mean? or do it the right way, or be original and just have original designs and all that. Yeah. But have you ever like collaborated with anybody?
Yeah, when I first started, like that's what helped me out a lot. Collaborations. I started with Bounce Back. That was like my first collaboration. Then Future Retro, and then I had Mania, but stuff like that. Right now I've stepped away from like collabs because I really want to like. I've been focusing more on overseas stuff, like getting jerseys made, cut and sew, all that stuff.
I'm so excited for the jerseys. I really like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I've been buying a bunch of like more collared shirts and shit.
No, like I like jerseys. Like I recently started
it just looks really nice.
Thank you. Hopefully they do well. Dropping these in April.
In April, is that like the one for your birthday?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hope you sell out.
What else was I gonna say? Oh, as far as collaborations, like how does that work? Like I know each one of them is probably like different terms and all this shit, you know, but how do you go about it? Like,
well, it's usually like 50-50 everything, right?
Yeah.
You split the cost of like the blanks, split the cost of the production and all that. But that's the thing that one of the reasons why I stopped doing collaborations. Like, it was mostly 50-50 with that, but like then the design and like all the creativity, it's like, well, what do y'all want to do? And it's just like, oh, you go ahead and pick whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a collab. That's just, I'm doing the shirt. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like whenever like now, thinking about it now, if I'm gonna work with somebody, I want them to put in as much as creativity or like their opinions about like a certain thing as much as I do. Like, I don't want to just feel like, oh, it's just me working on everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've always pictured a collaboration, like if I was to collaborate with somebody, I've always pictured like a table like this with a bunch of papers and just be like, man, I'll fuck with this color and, you know, just some shit where it's visually like there for you to see, you know, and talk about.
And I just feel like for like the collaborations I've had, it's just been like, it's cool, whatever. And it's just like, bro, like you didn't even
and they are cool, you know.
Yeah, they're cool, but like, damn, like a little bit like a creative, like give me some criticism or something. But yeah, I like working with creative people as well, because they may be into something completely different than what you are, and it's just like you connect both, like it.
Yeah, and then it just opens a new creativeness to something else that you probably didn't even see, right? Like,
yeah, honestly, but yeah. And then what about any future plans? Like
future plans? What do you mean?
Or when did you say this is dropping?
This is, oh my god, I'm sorry. This is probably gonna drop like in May.
May.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be like in May because we still have.
Damn, so this jersey has already dropped by the time people are watching this.
Yeah, so yeah, probably like in May, sometime in May, or May, or last week of April.
Yeah. So
we're working on something with Terry and Jose. We're gonna do like our own podcast too.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. I feel like that's gonna be cool. Hopefully we have it running by then. We're supposed to start on it next month, April.
Oh, hell yeah, that's fucking dope.
Because Terry knows everybody. He always has something to say.
Everybody's friend and shit.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna be dope. Hopefully,
that's one of your tops, right? Like Terry's podcast.
I fuck with Terry hard.
I know we had that was a good podcast.
No, yeah, shout out to Terry. He's put me on to a lot of stuff.
Shout out Terry, man.
He's helped me out a lot.
So,
well, if y'all have questions, obviously y'all can reach out to us. You know.
Yeah. What would the podcast be about? Just like regular shit, or just?
I'm not even sure. Like we just it started.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I really want to bring on people that you don't really see, like that are really creative. Because like I feel like I know a lot of people like that are like really creative, and they don't have a platform, or you don't get to see them a lot. You don't even know what they sound like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I feel like there's a lot of people in Houston that we could bring on there.
Yeah, that's super dope. Do you see other podcasts or?
Yeah, I watch it's the Syndicate one in LA. I think they're called like
they're in the store, right?
Yeah,
I fuck with that one.
Their shit is hard.
Yeah, that's hard.
What else do I watch? I watch a lot of Japanese podcasts, like people in Japan. Like I don't know if you really like gone into YouTube about that. Like it's like they do mostly like vlogs, but they're like talking all the time about like, but it's mostly like about like clothing and stuff, like Japanese clothing over there. Cause like over there is like a whole different game than over here.
I feel like they're advanced. So what we're using now or wearing now, they've already been past it.
They're over that. Like they're advanced. Like their stuff, like even how they like their pants, like I don't know, everything. Their jeans, all that is cool over there.
Yeah.
But I've been really into that, like watching podcasts from Japan and stuff like that. Seeing like, cause I feel like that's helped me out a lot too. Like, cause having motivation, like for the brand and like for you to do stuff, it comes and goes. Like you're not always gonna be motivated. You're not always gonna be like 100%, like going all the time. But I feel like I just lost my train of thought.
I just think because somebody told me to like motivation is not really something you should rely on. You know, it's like more of a like want.
No, yeah.
Or having something to look forward to.
Yeah, like if you can't rely on motivation. I used to think like, man, motivation this, motivation that, right? But then I was like, it's true. Like you can rely on that because it's just like, then you're just stuck if you don't have it, you know? But you have to have the mentality where like, at the end of the day, this is what you want and this is the plan. And I think if you set the plan to get to what you want, it'll help you stay consistent.
And it's like you got to do what you got to do. Like some days you might not feel like doing, like packing orders or like doing all this. But like at the end of the day, like this is what you want. You gotta. This has to be done.
It has to get done.
This is what you gotta do. And like I feel like what was I saying? I'm trying to get that what I was saying back. I forgot.
You were talking about the podcast and then the whole motivation thing right after that, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you want, do y'all have a name for the podcast or not yet?
Yeah, so we're gonna go with I came up with Atomic Snot. I feel like that's a cool name.
Is
like,
that the bracelet?
That's what I came up with. And like on my drawings, that's how I sign it off as too. Atomic Snot.
I saw that on.
We should get y'all.
That's my TikTok too.
Yeah.
We should get y'all on, like all of y'all. So
that'd be cool.
Before, well, I mean, once y'all are ready, like
or
to
we'll
drop.
have y'all on.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
Because whenever you brought it up, I was like, oh, I immediately thought about Syndicate. I don't know why I thought about like, okay, it's gonna be like a streetwear like.
Yeah, Syndicate stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
Like there's stuff like the stuff that because I usually just play podcasts in the background while I'm working or something. Because I'm always in my room. Like I know some people like have to leave their house to go and study somewhere quiet, but like that's where I feel the most comfortable at and like where all my ideas come in. So I just play it on the TV, and sometimes I'm not even paying attention, but. Like I'll hear like small conversations. I'm like, oh wait, let me turn around. See what you're saying.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly how.
That's what he does too.
Yeah.
And like I want to be able to have that too. Like really, y'all inspired a lot of it. Like seeing y'all's videos, like y'all's stuff is cool. Like y'all are consistent with it,
Yeah,
and like
it.
it's something new every time. And just like seeing the people y'all bring on, like that's cool. Like I wanted to have something like that.
Yeah, because honestly, I like having like. Because, you know, he has a lot of the connections. And I've said it before where it's like, for me, it's cool to have like, now I know you. So if I see you, I'm going to say, what's up, you know. And now I know you're like Salvadorian. So it's like something I didn't know. And he didn't probably know either, right?
I feel like I knew.
Oh.
Did we talk about it last time?
I'm not sure.
Not on the podcast.
Maybe I'm tripping.
I have a Salvadorian face, probably.
I know I don't have a Salvadorian face.
No, you don't.
I don't. But I feel like I love our podcast because then like we get to know the person and then the people that are watching are probably like, damn, you know, I didn't know that about him, or I didn't know he thought like that.
No, yeah.
Because you just put so much out there on your social media if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
So sitting down and having like a casual conversation, then it's just like they get to know you on another level, you know?
Yeah. Like I was watching y'all's videos and like just seeing like the people that are like so like close to where I'm from and like they're doing like big things like that. It's just cool like being able to see that. Like I would have never known if I wouldn't have watched y'all's video.
Yeah.
And like that's why it's cool like seeing y'all stuff like keep going.
Yeah. And then I had got on your IG just to kind of like refresh like my memory on the stuff you've done and everything, and then you only have 7 posts.
Yeah.
You got rid of a bunch of stuff, or
I didn't like some of those pictures. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. But then I'm like, all right, so
it's a good refresher to do that sometimes.
Yeah. But I'm saying like so people now that are gonna see like, okay, well, because your Instagram gives off like a different vibe from what you're giving off on here. You know what I mean? Because obviously I
don't really post myself a lot, or like I never post myself talking. Stuff like that. But like I like talking and I like being like on videos and stuff. Like when I was working at this one job, we were doing like videos with Terry all the time.
Oh,
that was like so fun to me.
Yeah.
Like that was fun. Like being
that was cool.
That making content is cool. And I
love seeing Terry's content. I'm not gonna lie, he's pretty funny too. Like you know.
Yeah. Terry's funny. He's a character.
I'm excited for y'all's podcast.
Yeah, hopefully it does well.
I'm sure it will. Y'all have like a good...
Now, like I hope it opens up more doors for us as well. Like meeting people. Like I want to be able to bring people from out of town and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna do that because man, this shit has been a blessing for all of us, man. Like just being able to get connected, you know, and just I don't know.
And you know how you said the whole that you're not ready to like to pop off, but you want to get there eventually. I feel like that's what it is with us. Like I feel like we've grown slowly, you know, but I feel like people that have been with us since like day one, or not even like you that you said you were watching, I feel like the consistency is there, so we're gonna grow and get there. What?
Yeah, I think it's Myla. She's crying.
Oh, I didn't even hear her.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully we'll, you know, get there and then.
No, yeah, like I wanna like because I see all these bigger brands that are still putting out heat and stuff. Like they've been around for a minute, and it's just like how are they still relevant? Like there's a bunch of brands that have fallen off throughout like time, you know, throughout the years. But like there's brands like from like Stussy's been here since like the 80s and stuff.
Yeah.
Like making shit, and they're still popping. Like people still lining up for this shit. And like I feel like at first I did want my stuff to pop up. Like like I didn't know what I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But like growing up and like with the brand and everything, I've been studying like all these other brands, and the reason why they stay like relevant is because like they take it like it's like how do you say it? Like it's a part of them. Like it's like that's how I see like a brand like Throde. Throde is like a part of me. Like seeing people wear my shit and like them saying like, oh, like that's hard. Like your shit's hard. Like that's like saying like I'm cool. Like because I made it. Like because it represents me. Like
it brings you that joy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's just cool overall. Like seeing like people wear my stuff and thinking it's cool. Because that's just what goes on in my head. Like what everything I put out is just like stuff that I think personally is cool, and like hopefully, like I like whenever I make stuff, I never think about it like oh, I'm doing it because this person is gonna like it, or for this type of person. Like I just do it because I like it. Like
the stuff that you would want to wear.
Like if I'm not gonna wear it, like I'm not gonna make nothing I'm not personally gonna wear. Like I make it with the intention of wearing it, being a wearable product. Like I don't just do it like, oh, this my audience already likes this, so I'm already accustomed to doing designs like this, so I'm gonna just do it like this, or else it's not gonna sell. Nah, like sometimes I'll do designs that are bad, like. But if I personally like it, that's a win for me. Like if I'm able to wear it, that's cool for me.
Because at the end of the day, like you said, your brand is you. So
but and you know how before we even started recording the podcast, how you had said that we have pretty much like a bunch of episodes on our YouTube. So it's like if we ever pop off or whatever, like people will have the content to watch, you know.
Yeah.
And then I brought up like TikTok being kind of the same thing, you know. So if you go viral on TikTok but you have the content, it's good, you know. And it's kind of like that with the brand as well. So it's like if you would have popped off on your first shirt or your first 2 t-shirts, then
that would have been bad.
And there's like no story.
Yeah,
you know?
there's no story.
And now it's like you have an archive of like all these past drops. You want to make it seem where somebody's gonna be like, oh shit, Throde, like this shit just came out of nowhere. But it's like, nah, it's been years in the making.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's
like,
a story behind it.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to have that impact on somebody where it's like, damn, all their stuff is hard. Like looking back, like I wish I would have been around for when he released that. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't
about that shit.
Cause like thinking like you said, if I would have popped off like at the beginning of my first 2 shirts, there were buns, bro, and like that would have been bad. Like imagine like, oh, like what's next? Like what are you gonna do next? With that experience I had with those 2 drops, like you know what I mean?
The shirts are in Dallas.
Yeah, that would have been bad.
Dang, that's funny. But with that being said, he brought us a little gift.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know which one's which, but y'all just trade if y'all got that.
Yeah.
Size.
I like that whenever they do bring something, they always bring it in like a nice bag, and it's just like nicely, right?
Yeah, I'm not gonna block your face. I was about to block your face. Yeah, we got some.
Oh yes.
Which one did you get? If it is your size.
Oh, if it is my size, medium.
Oh damn.
And I put
God.
some little stuff in there.
So you know,
so we got
thank you.
Pins, right? Yeah. Pin.
This is so cute.
And then we got
the little keychain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll change the big ring for this one.
What big ring?
The one from our keys that you were arguing to me about earlier.
Oh, and then I got one too.
Hopefully they fit good.
I'm excited. I was like, not that I didn't think you were gonna get one of these, but
yeah, I didn't think I was gonna get one of these.
Yeah, I was like, if I wanted to get one, you know, whenever you drop them, so I could see like wearing some biker shorts or, you know, like a cute fit or whatever.
Thank y'all for having me. I wanted to bring y'all something.
No, bro, appreciate you. This is hard, bro, because the whole time you're wearing it, I'm like, man, when he drops this shit, I kind of want to grab it.
Yeah, because I was like, I feel like I kept talking about the jersey. I'm like, it's really nice, right? Like, thank you. So I was like, I'm excited.
He's probably in his mind like, man, they don't even know.
Yeah, I was like, they don't even know what's coming.
That's so funny.
No, I appreciate you, bro, for real.
What's your Instagram? Where can they find you?
My Instagram is Throde with 2 W's and 2 D's because the Throde was taken. But we're going around that. And my personal one is Throde Herb, nothing extra. Yeah. And then the Instagram for the podcast is going to be Atomic Snot. It's already there.
It's already there?
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna go ahead and follow that.
ASAP. But all right, again, Herb, appreciate you, bro, coming through, you know, and just sitting down and talking to us about your story and everything. So other than that, guys, follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, give us a, you know, subscribe to the fucking channel, you know what I'm saying? So,
and make sure y'all go, and you have the channel up yet or not yet?
Not yet.
Well, make sure y'all follow. Well, all his the 3 Instagrams will be in the description below, so make sure y'all go follow that podcast, because, you know, we support that 100%.
Thank you.
So yeah, stay tuned for that, and thank y'all for watching.
yes, sir. That's it.
Appreciate
Peace.
it.
Peace.